Let me start with preparing for these atmospheric rivers. This is something that has hit California before. What have you learned now about how to, how predictable is this? Something that like a hurricane, you can give people advance warning for. What have you learned about this phenomenon?
Well, thanks for the opportunity to talk with you. California is no stranger to these big winter storms coming off the Pacific. And so we've experienced this before, but this is obviously the scale, the severity is epic in proportions, clearly supercharged by climate change. We're in the middle of the driest 3-year period since 1896, and then experiencing not one, not two, but we're on our 7th atmospheric river with at least a few more on the way, as you noted. Now, we've invested a lot with the federal government in understanding more about these atmospheric rivers, when they're going to hit, where and how they're going to impact. And believe it or not, partnership with the Federal Air Force, we actually have C-130s flying into these storms off the Pacific to help us understand, again, what the likely impacts are going to be. But, there's some element of surprise, continues to be some element of surprise with Mother Nature. And so what we've been saying over the last 2 weeks is Californians, be ready for extended power outages, stay off the roads during peak storm periods, and check on neighbors. This is very much still an evolving emergency.
So, look, you've got the near-term problem, but now you've got the resiliency question for the long term. So, Bill, tell me you're going to have more atmospheric rivers. They're going to hit this state, right? Maybe it's in 15 years that you get something like this. Maybe it's next year. What do you have to do to prepare Californians, and what do Californians need to be thinking about right now?
Well, simply put, we have to update our infrastructure, update our management to the new climate normal. And that means that the rain, the snow that we do get that provides our water supply is going to come in more intense bursts. We have a remarkable system of systems to capture water in the state, but it was created in the middle part of last century. So we need to actually update that. We need to rehabilitate the way we move water, what we call water conveyance. We need to get more water recharging our groundwater basins during these storms. And then in targeted places, we need more surface storage to ensure that we're actually taking this runoff when it's wet for use when it's dry. The good news is the legislature, our Governor Gavin Newsom, have invested $8.7 billion over only the last 2 years to actually to spur this change, this transformation of our infrastructure that we need. So we're on our way, but frankly, we're in a race against climate change.
Is it realistic that we can develop systems to harness all this extra rain? Or is this something that's 10 years? And is this something that can be done in the next 5 years or something that's next decade?
Well, look, some infrastructure is going to take time, but there's things that we're doing right away. Reducing red tape to actually allow more of these flood flows to actually flow onto fields where they can recharge groundwater basins. So there's a lot that we can do in the near term, but we face a shifting climate, and that climate's going to change here in coming decades. So we're working in real time to actually keep up with it.
The Central Valley feeds America. What do we have to worry about when it comes to these storms this year? And, is it going to impact food production? Is it going to impact the grocery store prices? I mean, this is the fallout here. What's your sense of how the Central Valley's holding up?
Well, over the last 3 years, again, this epic dry period, there has been an impact on agricultural production. More fields have been fallowed. This water, this precipitation is very good news for the state. We're seeing our reservoir levels tick up, and depending on how this winter evolves, we could largely mitigate our drought conditions, and that's what, of course, we hope for. But if we continue to have shortages, there will be less fields actually planted. We have a vibrant, sustainable agricultural sector here. Our focus is ensuring that we have some predictability of water moving forward as the climate changes to allow them to continue to grow food.
Well, look, these rain events are becoming bigger, more unpredictable. So if we could figure out how to harness water when it hits us, that's a powerful tool for all of us going forward. Good luck with that, Secretary Crowfoot. Thanks for coming on and explaining what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.